Tomasi Entertainment.
It's Kenny! Let me briefly tell you guys about a little piece of relatively unknown video game history called the mascot craze. Long story short, when Sonic the Hedgehog hit the scene in 1991, a lot of companies saw fit to create their own platformer stars. Much like how Mario and Sonic are the faces of their respected companies, these other video game corporations wanted to have a character, or several in some cases, that people would instantly associate with their business. This craze, or rather, practice, was really prominent in the 90s, and lasted all the way up to the middle of the 2000s decade. Some of these mascots were successful, some were extreme failures, and some were just simply forgotten because they weren't memorable enough. Havoc is one of the forgotten mascots, but does his game really deserve to be forgotten? Well, let's find out. The story in this game is pretty good, nothing earth-shattering, but then again, this is a platformer from the 90s, so that's to be expected. Using the MacGuffin of the plot, a gem known as Emeralda is being sought after by an evil pirate walrus named Bernardo. The gem has the ability to grant its holder godlike powers. I would reference the MacGuffins used in the Sonic series, but if I were to do that, I would have to make references to Sonic all over the place in this review, and as it is, High Seas Havoc is already sort of a Sonic clone, so yeah. Anyway, the titular hero Havoc, a pirate seal, finds a girl named Bridget washed up on shore. He brings her to his home, and she tells him that she's the keeper of a map that shows where Emeralda is hidden. Havoc hides the map, but unfortunately Bridget ends up getting captured by Bernardo's henchmen, thus setting the stage for this game's adventure. The levels are laid out kinda like a classic Sonic game's levels, though the emphasis is not on speed, but rather exploration. Granted, there is a speed boost power-up, but it doesn't make you go too fast. The levels are also varied. We get a beach level, a pirate ship level, an above-ocean water temple, a below-ocean water temple, 2 burning village stages, 2 mountain stages, 2 steampunk factory stages, 2 spooky cave stages, and finally, a flying pirate ship stage. I can tell that the devs put a lot of effort forward whilst designing these levels. These are totally the kind of places that I can imagine a pirate visiting. Also, they look cool. Though, if I could fault the levels for anything, I would say that they're all pretty darn short. In fact, the entire game is pretty darn short. I can only assume that it was made this way because it was probably a one-and-done project on the devs' end. Gameplay is what you'd come to expect from an early 90s platformer. You run, you jump, you collect things, you stomp on enemies. Common platformer stuff. It's also worth noting that when you hit the jump button twice, Havoc will do this somersault kick in the air. Kinda makes me wonder if the devs were inspired to make that move from the Street Fighter character Guile. There are gemstones scattered throughout the game too. Grab 100 of them and you gain an extra life. As I said previously, these features were nothing out of the ordinary for a side-scrolling platformer from the 90s. However, that's kind of Havoc's biggest drawback. Havoc wasn't really doing anything that the other companies weren't doing with their platformer stars during the time. Though to be fair, there were many terrible platformers being made during that era too. Case in point, Bubsy and Captain Novolin. At least Havoc is enjoyable, so it has that going for it. Graphics-wise, High Seas Havoc is beautiful. The whole game looks like it could have came from an anime. The backgrounds, the sprites, Havoc himself, it all looks great. Also, the visuals are colorful and vibrant. Another cool thing about the graphics is that there is some parallax scrolling going on in some of these levels. In short, the visuals are just eye candy. Well, at least as much as it can be for a 16-bit game. I mean, sure, there are some better-looking platformers from the period of which Havoc came from, i.e. Sonic 3 and Knuckles and Demon's Crest, but hey, for a game that was probably made as a one-shot from the devs, it looks really good. Heck, I'd go as far as to say that the graphics still hold up well today. So in conclusion, I would say that High Seas Havoc is a good game. It may not be one of the best 16-bit platformers out there, but that doesn't make it bad. It may also not do anything special either, but it runs well, it's not full of bugs and glitches, and it does what it's supposed to do. And that is to entertain. Havoc nails that pretty well, at least for me it does. So I'm gonna give this game a solid 7 out of 10. It's an entertaining title, with a good story and fun gameplay. Though, keep in mind, I grew up playing a lot of games like these when I was a little kid, so there is a nostalgia factor on my end. But still, I insist on giving Havoc a look. You never know, you viewers may find the game to suit your taste.
Hello, and thank you for watching Kenny's Review. If you'd like to see more of these, please subscribe, thumbs up, and leave a comment below and let Kenny know what you think of the review.